Hi, Jonathan. I'm providing your review of your written debate speech. So here we are. So first thing, I'm going to go into the rubric. I didn't see the map of the speech. So you had about 5 points for that. So I didn't see that. Okay, now I will tell you about the introduction. I think it's a great topic considering what's going on now. I think this topic is a great topic to pursue. A few things I will ask you to kind of it seems a little theoretical right now, just reading your introduction. One of the things that you can do to create more connection, Jonathan, is to provide some examples of wars that are happening based on religion, okay? Or think about what's going on in different parts of the world, religious wars, right? So give them can how many of you can think about this war or that war? And then religion is one of the most important issue, right? The whole thing about Israel, the war that's going on is the Hamas war. It's about religion. I think that's one example. I think so many wars that's going on is about religion. So some examples of that will help them understand how relevant this topic is. Okay, so yes, you've provided a description of what it looks like, but maybe some concrete examples of what is happening in the world will make it real for them and get them to understand the relevance of this topic. All right. Now, next thing is, so here we go to your I would probably put you here in terms of rubric about good. Okay, you do meet some of the criteria. You could make it stronger with more with startling statistics, startling facts about what's going on in the real world in regards to this topic. Now let's move on to the body of your speech. I think the body of the speech is fine. I did read the body of the speech, and one of the things that I'm going to talk to you is, I think I did talk to you about that. Well, I reviewed your speech, your last speech as well. So this kind of, there's so much of information here, and you remember that this, not everybody knows about so many the 30 years war, or for example you also talk about geocentrism. These are important concepts, loaded concepts. Not everybody knows about these concepts, so you got to make it simple for the current audience, always adapting to the current audience in that you have, right? So if this was a speech given to history majors, or people who are in who do world philosophy, peace studies and conflict studies, I think this would be quickly understood. But for our class, not everybody has information about these facts. So you got to make it simple for them to understand. Give them a purpose. For example, I like the way you talk about, first let's examine how religion is historically related to conflicts, war, and acts of violence. Plain and simple. Good. They get a purpose for understanding what you want to talk about in your main point number one, and then they listen to it. Now here, make the sentences very, very, very simple to follow. Make it short, simple, one idea at a time. All right. Next thing is, instead of saying, next consider the perpetuation of discrimination and inequality through some religious doctrines. How about you position this as a question? I think that's really going to be create a more engaging way, engaging hook for the audience to understand your position. So let me give you an example here. Instead of saying next, consider the perpetuation doctrines. So how many of you know that religious doctrines actually cause huge discrimination and inequality? And aren't we hearing that in today's world, discrimination and inequality? So do we want to know what religion does, what part religion has to play? That will make the audience kind of make them sit at the edge of their seat, perhaps, and then they will get into the discussion, right? So anything, when you want to, especially with an opening paragraph, you may want to use rhetorical questions, much more engaging, much more active, and it kind of pushes the audience to think about it, and they actually think that we are responsible to respond to this, even though they are not required to answer. So it's a strategy. So again, for every topic sentences, I would like you to kind of begin with the rhetorical sentences. Make your sentences shorter, easier to understand, not too much. And again, you don't, say it in your own words as much as possible. Do not memorize it. You should know it very well. But then just have a conversation with the audience. Okay, I like the way you talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs here. And at the conclusion as well, you let me just go back. Actually, you did not provide a map of the speech. So let me read the conclusion and see how you have done with your rebuttal. All right, so I don't see a very strong rebuttal, okay? I actually do not see a rebuttal unless I'm missing it, okay? Rebuttal is a loophole in your speech, a weakness in your speech that you introduce again within your speech, which shows that, you know what, in this situation, maybe religion can work. Religion needs to exist, okay? If it creates uniformity, if it creates a sense of a sense of law, a sense of decorum, a sense of civility, then religion should exist. Okay, if that's going to be your rebuttal, maybe, and rebuttal would mean that it's a weakness in your argument, a loophole. Um, However, even if you say that, it doesn't mean that your position becomes weak. You just say that in order to kind of acknowledge that, you know what, I have this stand, but I still know the weaknesses of my position. Even though I know the weaknesses of my position still is higher. It still stands because of this, and this. So I need you to have a rebuttal. Okay. So here we go. As I mentioned to you, I'm just wrapping it up. I didn't see a map for the speech. So here was about 5 points here. I will give you about over here. As I mentioned about what you need to do in introduction, I will put you at a good here. I will put you at a good here as well in terms of your body. There's certain things that needs to be changed in order to kind of create a sense of aggression, create a sense of more connection with the audience. Shorter sentences will help us to understand your claim very well. It'll establish why, it also will help the audience to understand the need of your topic. So here, and then I did not see a rebuttal within your argument, so I'm going to put it here, all right? You do have a conclusion, but I didn't see a rebuttal. All right, hope this is helpful. Thank you, Jonathan.